What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 4. We have another best of two. We have the Houses Down going up against Together We Did It, and certainly quite mouthfuls, both of those two names, but we're going to be bringing you the best of two here on HeflaTV 2 on Twitch. I'm Mike Loris, and this time I got Grandis here as well, and man, I think Houses Down just played, right? So how did that go?
Oh, they just went 1-1 versus Leviathan. Not surprisingly, the game on Brazil went to the Houses Down, the game on US East went to Leviathan, so I'm not sure how much you can actually take out of that series.
Alright, so hopefully that's not going to be an issue, although I don't think that's actually going to be happening, as Together We Did It. I don't know exactly where they're from, but I'm pretty sure mostly it's United States, so servers might, again, be problematic, but that's the price you pay.
It definitely is. Right now, I believe we're playing on US East, and it looks like Together We Did It have slightly better ping, but it shouldn't be that big of an issue. Right now, we are going to get into the draft. The early bans are pretty standard. Elder Titan, Brewmaster, Death Prophet, and Jakiro taken out in the first stage. First pick, Ogurjai from THD, and TWDI are going to go for the Lycan and Viper as their first two.
So this is actually pretty aggressive from Together We Did It. Usually you could depend on Lycan to either get straight out first banned, and if not, he's probably not going to be touched. But picking him up first means that Together We Did It are going to try to be playing this game very aggressively. Along with the Viper, they will have quite a bit of pushing power. And I mean, when you pick up a Lycan, you'll always have a little bit of pushing power. The House is down with an Ogre Magi as their first, very safe. Maybe they want to go for someone who's a little bit more defensive and who try to hold those towers. Tidehunter is seemingly a good hero here, though Razor is also perfectly capable of getting the job done.
Yeah, you can't really fault either teams for what they've gone in the first pick. First pick Lycan, we haven't seen it for quite some time, but definitely has its merits. A really scary pushing hero, and with the ban coming out from the Houses Down, Nature's Prophet taken off the table, definitely would have been a really scary pick for TWDI. With the Lycanthrope as well as the Nature's Prophet, that pushing power gets immense. Razor, one of the few heroes that can stand, or my goodness, what am I trying to say? They can break even with Viper in lane, so I assume that's going to be a matchup that THG are looking for in the mid.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be perfectly fine for Together We Did It, as well as, the lane is going to be even, and, I mean, it could be worse, could be better, but usually if all your lanes are even, you should be pretty happy, unless you are planning on cheesing in some way, and, well, with the Nature's Prophet out of the pool now, Together We Did It, they're pushing, still can be very aggressive, but I mean, the House is down for one reason or another, have banned out three of the more harder pushing heroes in the game with Death Prophet, Jakiro, and Nature's Prophet. Lycan is probably, I want to say, just going to be the only quote-unquote pushing hero for the Dire side, as there aren't many more that are, well, top pick material as well. It's not impossible for them to go for something like a Chen or Enchantress or a Juggernaut or something like that, but it's just a lot more unlikely.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I don't think you need much more pushing power than just the Lycan on his own either. Usually he's enough to get the job done, either with split pushing or just running straight to towers. With like a Necrobook and your Wolves, you definitely get plenty of usage out of the Howl with just the one hero.
Alright, so we got the Centaur being banned out as well. Maybe Together We Did It going to try to lock down their initiation in their next couple of picks. Really, for the Houses Down, when you're dealing with Lycan, you want initiation as much as possible. And in that sense, both Brewmaster and Centaur out of the pool for Together We Did It kind of makes a little bit of sense there. Also, to a lesser extent, the Legion Commander. But someone like the Batrider would be a pretty nice fit for the Houses Down. For Together We Did It, it's going to be the Wraith King. I don't really see any huge amount of synergy just yet, but I guess having Lycan with super lifesteal vamp with Vlad's and lifesteal aura is pretty good.
I suppose so. I was expecting TWDI to go for the Tidehunter. The House is down, not surprisingly, are going to go for the Batrider. Yeah, it's going to give them a nice initiation edge for THD. The Wraith King, I presume it's going to be played as a support for TWDI. It's a pretty decent one with a nice play stun, but honestly, I think the Venge has more synergy with the Lycanthrope than the Wraith King does.
Yeah, I think I just like the Venge in general, just a little bit more. Like, even if it was just in a vacuum, if you were like, okay, here are two support heroes, choose one. Most of the time I would pick a Venge, and ooh, hello. That's something I did not expect. To be fair, Wraith King and Vengeful Spirit both set up for LSA, so they both would have been able to do the job.
Yeah, definitely. Especially up against Batrider, I think Venge would have been a really good choice, although Batrider was after the Wraith King. TWDI, I like that they go for the Lina. I think the Wraith King's a little bit lukewarm, but either way, they are going to have a pretty nice aggressive roaming support duo, and that's even if like this is played as a support Lina, it might as well be a farming core, and maybe they decide to go aggressive. Although right now I'm not exactly sure why they would. Earthshaker is going to be a secondary melee support for the houses down, so might get their lanes a little bit clustered up. Although Earthshaker and Ogre, as far as melee supports are concerned, are pretty solid at what they do.
I feel like the Houses Down are going to be playing this a little bit more defensively, or at least on the defensive side. Whereas for Together We Did It, because they have so much ganking power, have a little more lane control with that range support as well as the Viper. They'll probably be looking for a couple more kills here and there. And when it does come to this type of situation, it's going to be up to who can initiate, who has a large burst of power, and that's going to be in the hands of the Bat Rider. Together We Did It, they can go for something along the lines of a Clockwork or something as their last pick, which I wouldn't actually hate. They probably just would like to have some form of initiation. Maybe Wraith King down the line will get a Blink Dagger, but that's by no means dependable, especially when you compare him to a Bat Rider and an Earthshaker.
Definitely. Tidehunter still has managed to find himself in this pool, unless I'm completely missing something. So I think that would be a pretty good choice for TWDI as well. Just anything to give them a jump on a houses down, or at least to counter the jump that's probably going to come from the Bat Rider. They'll ban out the Slark. Let's see what the houses down are most scared of here.
So the house is down. Well, I mean, they have not that much damage, honestly, and not much scaling damage, especially when you compare it to the likes of Viper Lycan. Razor's good, but you generally want a little bit more. Your other core is going to be relatively low damage in the Bat Rider. He can do a lot of damage in some situations, but he's certainly not as smashy as the Lycan. So the House is Down probably going to go for some damage. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Hyper Carry picked up for the House is Down. That being said, I don't know if that's entirely their style. So they're probably going to try to go for a little bit more of an early game-ish hero as opposed to someone like a Spectre or a Medusa, just because I don't think they like running that. At least I might just be mistaken, but it doesn't seem like their cup of tea.
I would kind of half hope for THD to pick up a Meepo because I know they like running it, and they have two players that are very capable in that hero. But up against TWDI's draft, I just don't think that's a very good choice. With Lina, especially just being able to drop a Laguna Blade into your face, you're probably just going to die almost straight up to that, especially if an Aghanim Scepter eventually comes out from Lina, and if not, you'll be mopped up by the Viper and his Nether Toxin, the Lycanthrope. Maybe, just maybe, they'll go for it, but I think it's unlikely.
All right, so 2D, what do we have? You got not much time here. It's going to be a Puck, so it is going to be a support Wraith King now along with that Lina, although I think that was pretty much to be expected. That's their hero for initiation. That's how they're going to get in. It's not the best hero to initiate, but you could certainly do a lot worse than the Puck. So whether it's going to be going towards offlane or mid, don't really think it matters that much just because Lina and Wraith King are going to be very mobile this game.
Definitely. Puck also synergizes really nicely with the Lycan, just keeping people in place so he can get his damage off inside the team fight. And yeah, I think it's one of the better ones left in the pool for TWDI, with the Centaur and Tidehunter not available to them. For the houses down, we probably are looking for a safe lane core or maybe a mid core for them. Although I think that wouldn't be the first choice to come to mind. I think just throwing Razor towards the mid is the safest course of action for them. Because even if, for some reason, TWDI go for a Lycanthrope in the mid, Razor's going to win that matchup, and you're not going to be getting much benefit from the Viper's safe lane farm. So let's just see what direction they want to take this.
So I think someone similar to the Slarker Legion would have been beneficial for the Houses Down. Just a hero to get active in the early game, or at least, a little bit earlier game. Maybe they want to go for something like an Ember Spirit. It's not banned out, so someone like that. Although up against Puck initiation and the chain stunning, maybe not the best. But a hero like that who's able to do or to get off the ground from early on, and who will be able to scale into the late game as well.
I would have liked to see a Sven, but that's going to be a triple melee lane if they do go for it. It's going to be a Morphling.
That's fine. I think that more or less fits the bill. It's a little bit more of a harder carry than I was really expecting, but it's still a hero that can do reasonably well. You also do need that ranged. I mean, Shaker, Ogre, Magi, they're both good, but they're not that great together.
Yeah, they really aren't, and I think it's a little bit of a questionable choice from THG to go for double melee supports. I don't know, it just never really seems to work out. But if you're going to go for two melee supports with stuns, with decently long initiation range is probably the way to go. Let's see how this all works out. I'm favoring 2D's draft, however.
Yeah, I think I like theirs a little bit more as well. Not by a huge margin, but maybe I'm just biased because of Lena. I think that's probably it.
Potentially. Well, on the dark side, it is going to be TWDI, or Together We Did It. Taku is going to be taking up the puck. Lycanthrope is going to be played by Noobs R Us, and currently down towards the bottom lane, we have Icon playing on the Lena. Viper going to be handled by Bartlett, and Wraith King by KGB. My goodness, I have no idea who these players actually are. I haven't seen TWDI play for quite some time.
Yeah, me neither. So not entirely sure, but Wraith King is, I'm sure, part of Russia's secret police or something like that. On the houses down, we have it's going to be Laposa on the Morphling. He's going to be supported for now by Ned, and it looks like that might actually be the case for a little bit longer, as Vestius is currently up towards top as the Shaker. TMZ is on the bat, and over towards mid, it is going to be Yuka's Razor. I think it's probably just going to be Shaker blocking off the creep wave once or twice, and then he'll go down to the bottom lane. But yeah, it is going to be an aggressive tri lane from Together We Did It. Not really too surprising there. And the house is down. They need the fissures in order to disengage. I mean, Laposa, his ability to escape is certainly very high, but the damage potential from 2D is just a little bit higher.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think that's exactly how these lanes are going to shake down for THD. Even so, this Morphling's not going to be having a great time at all. If the stun connects, coming up from the Wraith King, following up with the LSA, and then just right-clicking him down with Bartlett is going to be a pretty reliable way to kill off this Morphling. Even if he does have Strength Morph at his disposal, right now he's very heavily committed into Agility. I don't expect that to maintain the case. He's probably just going to see the lane and immediately have to change things. Sitting at 378 HP up against this lane just isn't a choice that you can make.
And I mean, that's probably not something you're going to see very often. If you know you're going to be up against an aggressive tri lane, yes, it's nice to have extra agility for that lasting power, but you can't afford to be that low on HP. And speaking of, Ned is going to get jumped now. Bartlett with level 1 poison attack. Ned, his best chance is to have a Roshan deny. Roshan, don't be that guy. He's not going to be that guy. Viper is going to get first blood.
He was the guy to bash down KGB, and it is going to be a little bit of damage into the Wraith King, but right now, it's already a bad start for THD in this bottom lane. It's going to be first blood given exactly to who 2D want to give it to. Bartlett, that's going to be a very early Ring of Basilius for this lane, and or Boots. After his first wave, he's probably going to have both. I don't really expect anything better to be happening for them, and it looks like it is just going to be dual lanes for THD. Vestius actually made his way all the way up towards top. I can't really like this choice coming out from them. He's not going to be able to accomplish anything up towards top, except for Soak XP.
And as nice as it is to have an Earthshaker with a couple of levels here or there, the Batrider doesn't need the protection. He's only up against one hero, so, I mean, what's the worst that could happen versus a puck? Your Batrider might die, but if that happens, it's going to be just him being outplayed, and you don't really want to, hedge your bets on your top laner being outplayed, because that is probably not going to end very well for you. So Shaker could honestly not do very much anywhere. Like, he's not doing anything on top lane, but what will he be doing on the bottom lane? Because Morphling is being 100% completely zoned out. If they catch him with a single stun, assuming Bartlett is nearby, the Morphling is just going to die because he doesn't even have 400 HP. The Viper still is not picking up anything just yet. Maybe he's just going to go straight up Midas.
Maybe. I mean, when you get first blood and you're going to be in a lane where you're getting pretty much free farm, if not complete free farm, it's also a decent choice. I would have liked to see him just get like the boots and Basilius for the lane before, and then maybe go back for a Midas. Either way, we're going to see KGB eat a Fire Blast coming out from the Ogre. The LSA from the lane to disengage is going to mean that Wraith King's able to walk out of there with his boots, although he did lose quite a lot of HP and will be forced all the way back to base.
I mean, that's fine for 2D because Morphling's still level 1. If he had any sort of waveform at all, that would have definitely been a kill on the Wraith King. Just repositioning for one more right click, and suddenly the fact that you have less than 400 HP is irrelevant since you're on the aggressive. But Morphling can't really be too comfortable in this lane for that much longer. He desperately wants level 2, but even when he has that, I mean, it's still going up against the level 3 Viper, who is going for a more aggressive build in the poison attack and the Nether Toxin. I would expect Corrosive Skin a little bit, but definitely not by that much. So Viper's looking to kill things in this bottom lane, and I think this is the right choice. I mean, you have a Wraith King and Lena behind you. You might as well try to put as much damage as you can into the enemy side. And up against Laposa, I mean, one hit and poison attack is going to be doing so much damage.
Definitely. Although bottom lane is going really well for 2D, I'm not sure exactly what they were expecting in the mid lane. I think Razor was pretty much the clear choice for THG to throw towards mid, and in that situation, I'm not sure why you throw Lycan in that lane. If you're going aggressive, I would have liked to see him go solo safe instead. Even though it's not a great lane, up against the Batrider, and Batrider and Earthshaker definitely could have killed the Lycan. I think he'd be able to get more out of it than just up against the Razor. Taku's going to get himself stuck inside the trees, but he'll be able to get out of there eventually as soon as this Illusory Orb cools down.
Oh man, that could have been really bad if Batrider got maybe a better read. Firefly would have given Taku a way out technically, but he had to go through a shaker to do that, so that could have very easily been, I think, a kill for the Houses Down. For one reason or another, that didn't happen, and now Taku is not getting that much out of this top lane. The threat of Fissure is probably a lot more threatening than the Fissure itself, since, well, just as I said, that Fissure is going to miss up towards top, but TMZ is almost perfectly zoning out this Puck just by himself. Even though Puck is a hero that benefits so much from a full magic stick, there's not much you could do when you're just vulnerable to death all the time, and that's pretty much the same situation down towards bottom. Over towards mid, though, Noobs R Us got a little bit of damage drained out for him. Now going to pop some Wolves, and Howl looking for that Wraithfire Blast. Boots are up on Wraith King, but he just can't get close enough to the Razor, and that's going to be a Smoke Gang failed towards mid.
Yeah, when you're going for a smoke kick and you just run straight at the enemy hero, it's fairly unlikely it's going to succeed. Down in bottom, Morphling dropping incredibly low up against the Viper. This is going to be a forced out Sal from the Morphling, more than 80% sure.
And I mean, he has that. It's maybe since he has so little HP, he just wants a tango. I guess that's the upside of having no HP. Tango restores you up to full.
I suppose so. He'll get one from Ned as well. So he's going to hold on to his salve at least for now. Up towards top, Icon's going to make his presence known as Wraith King with an invis in mid. Again, looking to step in this Razor, playing very aggressively, probably as he should. But when you have an invis on the enemy hero, you can get caught up very easily. The damage link onto the Lycanthrope is going to make this kill pretty unlikely, but the Wolves are doing a lot of damage with Howl. No, Wraithfire Blast, Yuka's gone.
Those Wolves did like all the damage there. That was just Wraithfire Blast and Wolves. Of course, that was Howl damage, but Noobs R Us actually didn't hit the Razor at all. So, man, that was a very surprising amount of damage coming out from these Wolves. But at the same time, they are level 3, so it is a level 3 skill doing quite a bit of damage. And Razor, only with 3 armor, it's not like when you actually add it all up, it's not that surprising that it happened. It just felt like that should not be happening in a game of Dota, but for one reason or another, the hero did go down. Now they're going to try to look to make a return kill. 2D, Noobs R Us gets walled off on the wrong side, but Deposit Field doesn't care about that Fissure. He's going to get the kill, but the Wolves, are they really? No, they're not. Just the tower. That's fine as well. It's going to be a kill trade over towards mid, but Lycan, though he does get a kill, gets it after he dies, so he doesn't get that much benefit off of it.
No, he doesn't, but it's still okay for Lycanthrope. Like, in a lane that you're probably going to lose in a vacuum, he's 22 CS compared to 26 and 2 coming out from the Razor, and he's gotten 2 kills. Even though he didn't get the experience for the next one, he's still pretty much on par with the Razor in experience.
Alright, so Lycan is doing pretty well for himself, and he's not getting that much farm, or at least not translating into anything substantial just yet, although we don't really need anything on the Lycan that's really huge. Oh wait, no, never mind. Pottle and Ring of Basilius. I was like, where are all of his items? But yeah, Ring of Basilius means that Vlad's is going to be incoming, which means on the dire side, Roshan should be pretty easy to take as well. Though up against the Batrider, Batrider is up on top lane. I don't think that's going to change very soon. They're going to actually open up onto Ned. Level 3 poison attack. He's going to straight TP out Icon with an LSA. Not even needed because Wraithfire Blast cooled down. Ogre Magi is going to drop.
Yeah, Wraithfire Blast with an 8-second cooldown. If you want to go for that TP out, you need to go immediately as the Wraithfire Blast lands. And for one reason or another, Ogre Magi holds on to that. He's going to lose his life because of it.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice little pickup from 2D. With 4-1, their supports have been doing an okay job at keeping the map under control. Definitely have seen better displays, definitely have seen worse displays, but Lena's level 4, Wraith King is level 4. These supports, even though they may not be getting the most kills on the map, they're still contributing enough to make
Dreamcool
down
up top.
A little bit scared.
They found TMZ, now with the Lycans are running in with his ultimate. Batrider is going to fall, even though he delays things with the Flame Break, doesn't matter. It's going to be Batrider, he dies to the creep, so I suppose that's the best case scenario for Bat, but it's still the first use of Dreamcool for a kill.
And it's first use of Shapeshift for a kill as well, and that's actually without any of these supports, so just 2 cores of 2D teaming up and getting quite a bit of benefit. However, bottom lane, Bartlett's going to be a lot of trouble. He has no way of getting out of here, I don't think. He's going to buy up everything, and it's going to be a mech for him. Put a lot of damage into the post with a Viper Strike, might as well. And it's going to be the death of the Viper, but he has not lost any gold, I don't believe. Yeah, it's all reliable, so he didn't lose anything except for his life, which is certainly not good, considering the bad start for the Morphling. Giving him a kill is the last thing you want to do, but in a situation like that, when you get walled off as a Viper, you're dead anyway.
More or less. Morphling is starting to catch up. 22 CS. I'm here at almost 8 minutes in. It's not the worst for the Morphling, although it's not great either. He does have his power treads entering of health after that kill, so it is THG coming back in this game, at least as far as their lanes are concerned, but still advantage towards 2D, although it's not super significant.
And it's going to be a little bit easier for 2D to make these kills happen once the puck gets the Blink Dagger, which is pretty far away, and once Lina gets to level 6, which is also just as far, if not even a little bit further. The Wraith King and Lina, they've been sticking around as a dual lane towards mid. Honestly, I don't really see them getting much done here. Even if there were a whole bunch of houses down heroes here, you have to walk up and Wraith Fire Blast Yuka, and as we already saw, that's not really possible. So these two supports, I would like to see them leave and try to get something else done, like up on top where they're killing off the Batrider. Yeah, I guess if you're getting kills anyway, you don't need the supports to help out, which is fine.
Yeah. I didn't actually see how that went down. There was a Dream Coil spent, and it's probably exactly the same thing that happened before, except this time without the shapeshift of Lycanthrope. That's your Vlad's completed on Nukes or us. And it is some nice levels for the sports at the very least. Viper down in bottom, gone upon by Ned, as well as the Pose. He's going to lose his life as Ogre Magi burns him down with the Ignite. And just like that, the advantage that 2D had found in this bottom lane is more or less completely gone. In mid, Link towards the Wraith King is going to be given the rundown by this Razor. Just needs a little bit more damage, can't find it under the tower. Yuka's going to be forced to back off, and Vestius isn't in range for a Fissure.
That's a little bit unfortunate. You usually want to get those kills on supports when you get that much damage drained out from them, but Razor, I don't believe has any, he doesn't have any unstable currents, and that would have made the difference for just one more hit. Actually a little bit surprising that he doesn't have any current, although, 1 point value is usually pretty good against the likes of Wraith King, and also up against the down the line with Laguna Blade. It's going to cost him this time, but yeah, who knows? You can't really add up skills like that anyway, so either way, the house is down. Not the best opening for the laning stage, but they're certainly doing pretty well right now. As far as late game is concerned, their Morphling is, getting quite a bit of farm. Not as much as the Lycan, who's participated in now 3 kills and is now starting to farm the jungle. But in 2D, they have a Viper is also going to be, he's also going to be getting that mech. So once that comes up, then 2D, their ability to just ball up and take towers or just start team fights is going to be very difficult for House Down to defend against until their bat gets a blink.
Yeah, more or less. I expect the next move for 2D to take is to push down these tier 1 towers, probably like mid and bottom being the highest priority, and then go into that Roshan pit. And even without those tier 1 towers down, Lycan could take that pretty much on his own. If he smokes in there outside of the jungle, THD may or may not know, as Noobsaurus has been keeping himself off of the map vision of THD, just been inside the jungle by himself.
But Ned is going to get found out by KGB. The damage not quite going to be enough. Now KGB is going to try to go for Laposa. He has a reincarnation, so he is comfortable doing this, but in the end, it's just a couple hits being traded back and forth. The Ogre Magi is just so tanky at this stage. 8 armor, a hell of a lot of HP, and though Viper has gone for a start of an aggressive build, he has deviated away quite a bit from that, with only 1 point Nether Toxin, with 3 points Corrosive Skin. So maybe if he's fully committed into the aggressive build, he would have gotten that kill, but as it stands, Ogre Magi, and I feel like probably the Razor, maybe even the Morphling will be able to do similar things. Just take the first stun and then TP out.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Batrider has been farming up his jungle, looking for that Blink Dagger. He'll find it a decent time, probably as soon as he wants it. If he just sells that branch, he'll have enough money for it, and he might consider doing that. Blink on Taku is up, but he doesn't have it in the inventory yet. Potentially going to bump into Yuka. He is going to show his face, start a Link on Taku, but a jump to the Illusory Orb is going to mean that the Link doesn't last very long. Ultimate pop by Yuka, now the Blink forward by the Batrider. They'll find the last one in the puck, and he can't survive.
That was kind of unfortunate from Puck. I mean, I'm pretty sure anyone would have just thrown the orb there, but as soon as he threw the orb, suddenly Razor, suddenly Earthshaker from in the direction he was running, and a blinking Batrider. Like, that was just so many things that Puck could not account for. It's something you don't account for, just because if you do, you'll never do anything in this game. So Puck ends up using his, or showing off his Blink Dagger, and he ends up dying for it. Whereas for the Batrider, picks up a Blink Dagger, gets a kill. That's pretty much what you want to be doing as Batrider, and in another minute, he'll be doing that again. So now it's going to be the house down, potentially to start taking a little bit more control over this game. For the most part, they've been on the defensive, and Blink Daggers typically is the item to change that.
Yuka, deep behind the enemy tower. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is for this Razor, but, yeah. I have no idea what the idea is here.
Super secret mission to kill the Lycan in the jungle? No. He just wrapped around the tower just because he can. I mean, he has a
I
haste
mean,
rune, so he wasn't in any danger.
yeah, he had haste rune mech, and it's unlikely that they're going to be able to spot you out, but now the ultimate pop by the Lycanthrope as well as the Dream Coil onto 2. They'll munch in the net, drop the Laguna Blade into Yuka. They're not falling fast enough. The Mechanism's going to save their life a little bit, but finally the game of Ring Around the Rosies is going to end. 3-man Fissure jumping from the Bat Rider. Puck's going to survive, but not to the Flame Break as that finishes him off. Noobs Are Rest lives, but for now it's just a 1-for-1.
Man, that Razor really, really tanky. Like, he got hit with the Laguna Blade. He got hit with a whole bunch of Lycan attacks, but he was still able to survive most of that. Unfortunately, at the very end of that, he ended up snapping the coil, and that ended up killing him. Maybe he would have survived if he didn't do that. A little bit mistimed by the Razor, but either way, it is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Not going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things, I don't think, because both sides will be pretty happy with their pickoffs considering the circumstances. But maybe 2D want to go for a push now in mid. Lycan's still farming away, though. Even though they have the heroes to go for pushing. This is not the time or place to do it. And if they do, they're going to end up getting caught in the lasso as TMZ now has respawned, and he's on the hunt. He's not going to find anyone, however, so 2D have to respect the possibility for initiation coming out from this Bat Rider.
Definitely do. He's got to bump into KGB, blink away from the Bat Rider will keep him safe, but the Wraith King was alone anyway. Does have his ultimate online, however. Right now, Noobs Are Us, he's actually gone back for a Midas. I saw the Gloves of Haste earlier in his inventory and just expected treads. What are your thoughts on this pickup? I don't think we've discussed it.
It's not that bad. Oh, bottom lane, the post is going to get jumps, so hold on to that. He's going to get Laguna Blade instantly down. I mean, if 2D keep on playing like that, like if they go for openings like that, then I think the Midas is pretty bad. But if they really slow it down, as they have been playing, like they've been playing really slowly given their draft, then I think this Midas is fine. It's just a matter of fitting the playstyle to the item. So, like, if they do what they're doing right now, this is a bad item, and Taku might be on the receiving end of that. He's going to get lasso, drop the coil already. Here comes Wraithfire Blast and the rest of the heroes, but a Fissure's going to lock them all out. Now Blink 4 from the bat is going to get right on top of Icon, and Noobs Are Us has just got a bail. Lena's down. KGB is in quite a bit of trouble as well, though he does have Reincarnation. A single stun might kill him off, no Fissure in time. That's going to be 2 kills before the house is down, and that's the type of play that 2D cannot make when you go for a Midas on Lycan.
Yeah, I'm not sure any of the other item would have helped in that situation, but yeah, I tend to agree. Morphling still hasn't become really relevant in this game, and I don't think it's really his fault. Leposa has been playing just fine based on his start, especially. Catching up nicely in the farming department, 63 and 13 on Leposa. At this point in the game, for a Morphling, he's a fairly slow farming carry. In fact, one of the slowest, since he doesn't have a great way to clear out waves except for wave form, which is decent, and he is going to be going for a Lincoln Sphere. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm a huge fan of this item choice coming out from the Morphling, but either way, eventually he's going to be forced to be reckoned with. Although I think even though with the Midas, Lycanthrope's going to get there faster.
Oh, he's going to get there a lot faster, and he's going to probably be overall more threatening to THD. Once a BKB comes out from Lycan, then there's nothing outside of lasso and drain that they could do. I mean, that's actually some pretty good answers, but good luck actually doing that to the Lycan on your own terms. That is very rarely going to happen the way the House is Down really want that to pan out. And Lycan, I mean, he's already very, very far ahead when you compare him to the Morphling. So even though he's slowed down for a Midas, like even if he didn't have the Midas, he would be just fine. Taku is going to steal the rune from Vestius. He was sitting on it and trying to save it for an ally, but now Taku is going to be given the rundown by Vestius. Here comes Yuko, Leposa from the high ground, and Puck is going to get obliterated. No reaction time to do anything just because he was dead so quickly. And they get the jump in onto Noobs Are Us. No, he's going to shapeshift and be just fine.
Yeah, very cute play by the Puck, but just wasn't able to get out there in time. Maybe if he ran a different direction, he would have survived, but he had no idea that the enemy heroes were that close and pretty much on top of him. Just the Plasma Field waveform, he was gone. So in the end, it's going to favor THD, and now they're the ones to put a little bit of tower pressure after that. Tier 1 tower in mid's probably just going to fall to nothing more than the Razor and Morphling right-clicking it, even with no creeps here.
That Dragon Slave looked like it hit Morphling, but it did no damage. Anyway, the tower goes down, and well, House is Down don't really have any pushing heroes. Like, I would not call any of these heroes pushers, so taking a tier 1 when they can is going to be huge for them. Really, their lineup is designed around the Morphling in that they have to just stall out the game and play this as slow as possible. So, you know, in that regard, oh, it's going to be working out for them, but Icon is going to get dragged back. TMZ, though, gets caught in the coil. Nice Fissure onto 3 once again. Taku is going to get zapped down. TMZ is going to be brought down by the Viper in the meantime, but Noobs Are Us being focused down by everyone else. He's going to be dropped as well. KGB and Bartlett, they're going to try to go for Yuka. Tough kill for sure. And with the Earthshaker on the high ground, this might just be a trap. In fact, it will be. KGB going to get stunned up and then will be brought down. It's only reincarnation, though. Yuka still taking a lot of heat, but another nice fissure. Not going to save the Razor because of Laguna Blade from the side. But now Ogre Magi and the Earthshaker have just got to get the hell out of here. Bartlett will be multicasted down and will be killed off as Icon does whiff an LSA. That means Ned has a free pass out unless Wraithfire Blast, and it will land. Ned's going to be beaten down. Nice lucky crit from him, and the Wraithfire Blast burn is going to get that kill. Now Vestius is on the run. LSA is available, and Vestius, he is slightly faster than Lina. So maybe he'll be able to live, although Puck with the TP up towards top lane is going to cut him off. Blink over for silence. There's that, and an orb through. Vestius, no LSA just yet. KGB also trying to close in. LSA is going to land. Even with the fissure, it's not going to be enough as they take the Earthshaker kill as well. Now Wraithfire Blast from TMZ. Is this Batrider really going to die as well? Orb flying through. Dragon Slave is all they need, or a couple right clicks. They get the Batrider also. The house is down. Well, they, I guess, get Lina because she decided to eat a couple creep waves. But still, I mean, the score is overall tied, and 2D get a lot more than I really expected there.
Yeah, it was an absolute bloodbath. I think the net score is 4-4. In the end, it's, I don't know, just ridiculous. That lasted for so long. And it's going to be benefiting very heavily the Wraith King, since he was one to survive throughout all of that, and he's going to have his Blink Dagger at a pretty decent timing, based on the fact that he's been laned as a support, and that he really hasn't been able to pick up that much farm. 1-0-6, KGB is doing just fine.
Yeah, and once he has that Blink Dagger, then that combined with the Puck, going to shove the initiation edge maybe a little bit in favor of the 2D side, and KGB, I mean, he pretty much already has that. It's a pretty decent time when you compare that to the Shaker, who is nowhere close. I mean, certainly is clear the item progression, at least for the supports, is better for 2D. Although, now with the smoke up from the house down, maybe they're going to look to slow someone down. It's not going to be in time for anyone, though. Even if they do run into Lycan here, he has no gold to lose.
Speaking of the Lycanthrope, he's gone for a Helm of Iron Will, and the only thing that I can think of him building with this is an armlet. Very interesting after going for the Midas, at least in my opinion. Helm or Veil seem very unlikely.
Gotta get that Veil, man. Help Puck do more damage.
Oh,
mid lane is
going
gonna
to
get dragged back. Icon is so dead, but armlet on Lycan, it's not the most common build for Lycan, but it's also not a bad item at all. Like, it's actually a very good item on Lycan, just there are typically better items to get, i.e. Necrobook BKB. I mean, he's a strength hero that likes to hit things, and that's the perfect hero for an armlet pickup.
Yeah, I quite like it, but I don't like going for it and the Midas. Midas is going to mean that he gets level 14 faster, which is kind of nice to get maxed out Hell. But I think if you're going to go for this armlet fighting build, like, just go armlet BKB after the Vlads.
Yeah, so maybe minus Midas would have had the armlet, 4 minutes ago, let's say, and at that point he would be looking for kills with the rest of his team. Armlet is a cost-effective item. Like, that's why you get it, because it gives you quite a lot of benefit with downside, or with potential downside. If you are going to farm up, then you don't want to be going for this item, and now he's going to be in a lot of trouble. There is no lasso, and the fissure's not perfect. Noobs or us might actually just be able to walk out of this, though taking a lot of magic damage. Yeah, they just don't have enough control. If they had a lasso, for sure, that would have been a kill, but that's not to be the case. As Taku gets chased down towards bottom, what are you doing there, Taku? Free kill for the post, I suppose.
Yeah, I have no idea what he was doing either. I assume he was just cut off and then just played Ring Around the Rosies for the longest of times. TWDI, they bring everybody but the Puck up in this top lane because Puck is dead. And they're looking for something, but right now there's not a clean way to initiate. Ned might eventually get blocked off if he finds himself in a nook inside the trees. But for now, either side are posturing aggressively, but they haven't found a jump just yet. TMZ going to put an end to the silence. He has a blink available. Let's see who he decides to go on. He's going to find himself Icon. Pull him back. He's going to get Wraithfire Blast, but not before Icon is in the loving arms of the Earthshaker. Fissure and Chantone is going to be the end of his life. Echo Slam onto Noobs R Us. He's going to do quite a chunk of damage. He has the armlet activated and probably is going to survive in the backlines with armlet toggling, if not anything else. KGB trying to fight as well. They Fire Blast up Bartlett, going to eat Enchantone. Doesn't do that much damage at all. Jumping by the Puck. It's going to be a triple man silence as well as triple man Dream Pool. TP 10 from Ned is going to succeed since they're not focused in. They're going on to Yuka instead. TP from Yuka. I believe that one's going to be cancelled by him dying, and in the end it will. 1-for-2 trade in the favor of 2D.
And the Puck dying on the bottom lane, kind of redeemed by the fact that he will not only set up for those 2 kills, might also get this kill onto TMZ. Another Blink silence is going to be the kill. However, Batrider should have his Blink cooling down, has a Force Staff as well. Taku now bit off more than he could chew. He's got to run away from the Posa. Now into the trees, Taku is spotted. Waveform will miss. That might be enough time for Taku to get away. Leposa's being blocked by a creep. He can't move. Leposa literally cannot move. And that means Taku gets a free pass out. That is so lucky from the Puck.
It really is. Morphling in the meantime was able to farm away, has the Lincoln Sphere now complete, and got a tier 1 tower down at bottom, so I think that trade's more or less null. But now with Roshan being attempted by Noobs R Us, this is going to change things. He'll be able to take it very quickly. Armlet, a great item inside the Roshan pit, is he's fairly easy to predict as far as when he's going to smack. And you also have Wolves to help you tank. Noobs R Us will be able to do this solo. In the meantime, Morphling kills off the Viper up towards top with a little help from Ned.
No multicast needed, just straight up going in and getting a kill. Now Icon might be suffering a similar fate. Going to be pulled right into the hands of the Shaker. And with a fissure punch, Lena is going to be dropping as well. Still 2D are going to get this Roshan killed, guaranteed. But this is pretty expensive. Noobs R Us, not too healthy either. Is going to run the right direction to escape. And I mean, Roshan for 2 kills, I don't quite know if that's worth it, especially since the rest of THD, they're up on top. Or they're near the top lane. They're threatening the tower. Still with not much pushing power, these heroes, but unless 2D mobilize right now, they're going to lose this tower. And, well, maybe they have enough to... No, do they have fortification? They have fortification, so maybe they'll be able to TP in and defend this, but it'll be close.
Yeah, I don't think 2D have gotten enough out of those last 2 exchanges to really make up for the fact that THD are the one taking towers, and it's not really what you expect from their heroes. They have an Aghanim's Razor, but that's really the only pushing spell that they have, jumping in mid. They find Urshik with the Wraith Fire Blast and the Silence. Force Staff from the Bat Rider is going to help Vesius a little bit, but now Dreamcoiled and Dagged down. He's going to fall. TMZ is Dreamcoiled up, but Bat Rider is going to be able to survive and potentially look Verger and Blink forward. They found KGB. Now with the Razor linking him up, Ned stunning him up. KGB's trying to man-fight all he can, but has no mana for his ultimate. I'm not sure if he had stick charges available. He had 12, but I'm not sure if he really wanted to use it there. Maybe there would have been turn potential if he popped it.
It seemed like he had enough mana, but then, I don't know, maybe he switched away from his Tread or something like that. Maybe through a Wraithfire Blast, I don't know. Certainly there could have been potential there if they decided to actually turn around with the Reincarnate Slow. TMZ is going to get snagged with that Laguna Blade, but it's going to be Taku to take the heat. He's going to get the phase shift out, and, well, now it's going to be Icon to suffer. Taku and Icon both taking a lot of damage at the same time. They will both go down. Noobs R Us just going into Yuka, however. The damage drain is going to be there, but it might be a little bit too late. Even with the Aghanim Scepter, Yuka is not invulnerable to damage drain. At this point, making Noobs R Us doing no damage. Down finds a regen rune. Are you kidding me? Yuka is going to live. Is going to get the regen rune canceled, unfortunately, but man, the damage drain came just in time. That's going to be 3 for 1 overall in favor of the House's downside. Plus, that was them working with only 4 heroes. Leposa had no part in that.
Even with the damage drain on him, like stealing almost 200 damage with the armlet activated, Noobs R Us was actually doing a little bit per hit, but that regeneration route absolutely saved Yuka's bacon. Right now, TWI, they just haven't been able to use this Aegis very effectively, and I don't think that's going to help them any further. BKB is going to be coming up for the Lycan, but I'm not even sure if he's going to be able to take any objectives with this Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, the best case scenario for them is they get a fight, like, if the Wraith King was reincarnated there, then that probably would have been the chance to use the Aegis. But this is not where you want to go as Lycan. He's completely spotted out right now, has backup incoming, and Houses down do not have a Bat Rider here. So maybe Lycan is acting as a little bit of a bait right now. Houses down, they're going to just all fall back, so never mind. Noobs R Us, yeah, he's probably not going to get value off of this Aegis, which is kind of unfortunate since they did give up 2 kills for it. You want to get something out of it, and the golden experience from Roshan is nice, but that's not why you kill off Roshan.
Yeah, it's really not. It's very weird to see an enemy team get Aegis and then you being able to push the tier 2 tower up top. Yeah, so in the end, the entire trade favors THD, and now Morphling's going to start building some pretty major items of his own. He's been calmly farming away through the majority of this time. Leposa now presumably working towards like a Manta style, I think? I don't know. He might be going for a Scotty with this ult. Either way, it's going to be giving a lot of stats and ability to fight inside these team fights, where he hasn't been able to do so previously.
And he's also going to help take down this bottom tier 2. Very quickly, a TP is going to be canceled by the Viper, who for some reason has 3 TP scrolls, so I mean, he could go wherever he wants, I suppose, but he's going to now be revealed. Bat Rider's going to jump in for the Viper. Eye of the Storm is up from Yuka, plus the damage drain as well. Viper does have that mech, but even with stick charges, that's not quite going to be enough to secure his escape. Taku's going to land a nice Dream Coil onto 2. TMZ is going to go down, but his job was already done. Now onto Noobs R Us, the Razor goes. So much damage drained. Wicked with the Luna Blade, does he even care? Has to not go for KGB because of that Blade Mill. Wicked with the Wraithfire Blast, still is surviving, not for long enough. Noobs R Us is going to respawn. And that is going to be that. They ultimately do get value off of the Aegis, although it was very close. Houses down end up taking a 2 for 1, or I guess 2D take a 2 for 1 in their favor. And that was just very, very slight. If the Razor got his stick charges off, I think he could have turned around and gotten one more kill, but it might not be over yet. KGB is in a lot of trouble. One more hit from Vestius is going to pop the reincarnation, but Icon is here. Does not quite yet have his LSA, but he doesn't really need it either. Vestius is already dead. Now Ned is going to show his face as well. Jump forward from the puck. KGB is there as well. Taku's going to get hit with one Fire Blast, but an LSA, Dragon Slave, and Ogre Magi is going to fall. THD just feeling way too comfortable with where they are right now. Even though Leposa is getting farm, even though they've been taking these fights rather well, those types of engagements where you go in one at a time are 100% death traps.
Definitely. It just didn't seem to work. If it was just the 2 kills, maybe it's okay for them. But 4 is pretty much unacceptable. It is going to be Scotty for Leposa. He has it completed, and the Morphling's getting good farm. But THD, they kind of just need to calm down and, I don't know, just wait until they have everybody in a 5-on-5 engagement, because then they can take a fight pretty easily, especially if they start things off with a Batrider Lasso or with an Echo Slam on 2 to 3 people.
Especially now that they have Morphling, who is big enough and has enough items to actually contribute to these fights. So far, he's been more or less AFK farming. So having another hero in those fights might just give the Houses Down enough punching power in order to take those fights very convincingly. Who knows? I mean, he has the Eye of Scotty now. The Morphling at 1800 HP is more than capable of holding his own versus any of the 2D heroes. Even, I would say, maybe a couple of the 2D heroes at the same time. So Houses Down now have options to fight at full power. And with the Batrider illusion being thrown towards mid lane, Morphling up towards top, it looks like the Houses Down know about that fact.
Definitely. Right now we're, I don't know, just kind of waiting, I think, for Roshan to respawn, and we don't really know when that's going to come up. At the very least, 2 minutes before that's available. Smoke coming up from TWI, looking for a pickoff right now is a pretty good idea for them, but we are going to have a pause. As Ogre disconnects, and, well, that's unfortunate. Let's see, who's the most likely one to get caught out by this gank, if anybody? Morphling potentially, but he has a replicate. Where is that actually?
So near the bottom rune area. I think the more interesting question is, what do you think the chances are of 2D jumping on this replicate and messing up? Because they shouldn't.
10%.
10%?
Maybe less than that, like 2. 2 is better. I like 2.
You know, the funny thing is, if they had a ward right there, then like that would be suddenly 80%. But since they don't have a ward, they're actually favored here.
Yeah, because if you bump into it and your smoke doesn't pop, you know it's an illusion. But if you spot it out and like Puck's like, hey, there's a Batrider there, the chance that Puck's gonna blink, jump onto it, and break the smoke is a lot more likely.
So this is just, you know, the reason why Vision is overrated. You don't need observer wards.
Shout out to MU
Mario.
Mario. Okay.
Is this guy really serious about this delay? And like the pausing and stuff? Because he said something earlier about that like very short pause. Really? Does he care that much? Jesus, guys, come on.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Yeah, I understand Leposa. That's exactly what I'm asking. There we go.
Yeah, okay. Admin throws the banhammer down.
Thought Lena is admin. What a biased admin, my god. Yeah, I don't remember the pause rules for JDL. I think it was 3 5-minute pauses, if I remember correctly. That might have changed from season 3 to 4, but this is fine right now. But I guess 2D just really want to have their wards hidden.
I suppose so.
Maybe we should get like part of the overlay or like a source in the OBS so that we could just like block the minimap.
That wouldn't help, because when would you turn it on?
As soon as it pauses.
As soon as it pauses.
Yeah.
But then once it's paused, I can just look at the stream. We have to know 2 minutes before they're going to pause so that we can put up the shield.
That's true. So we have to invent time travel first, right?
Yes. Yes, we do.
I don't think THD are known to be shady. That's not right.
I don't think so.
I've heard nothing about that. Man, I like THD. They run Meepo. And that's all that you need to do in order to earn my seal of approval.
Obviously.
Run Meepo well. Just do it well.
Yeah, well. I could run Meepo. It's not well. Yeah, THC actually have two Meepo players. I believe it's do they have two right now though? I know Vestius plays it when they play it as like a support jungle roamer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who's the one when they play it like the traditional like mid or carry Meepo?
Wait, hold on. Batrider illusion, 2% chance failure. Okay, wasn't it just Vestius? I don't know. It's been a long time.
I've seen somebody else not Vestius play it. Maybe that was just like a pocket strat thing where they were switching around heroes for some reason. I don't know. Either way, Smoke isn't going to find them anything, and in the end, it might place a couple of wards, as Icon is inside the jungle and probably should drop some on the enemy side of the map, but outside of that, they're all just going to completely back out.
Alright, so it's going to be top lane where they might have to prioritize. There is a Razor in the area, though with no Eye of the Storm, we see Puck grabbing a Hand of Midas. There's a time and place for Hand of Midas, and I think this isn't it.
No, I completely agree with you. I'm okay with Pucks going for Midas after Blink Dagger if you expect the game to go late. But this game, I'm not sure if TWDI really want to take it late. They've gone for Midas on two of their cores, and honestly, I think anything would have had more impact. Personally, I think saving up for a Scythe for Taku would have been better. Maybe going for a Yule Scepter if you really want something now. Or even upgrading the Dagon would be better than this Midas.
And usually we see the build for Pucks being, you get Boots, you get your Blink Dagger, you get Hand of Midas, then you get Yule Scepter or Dagon or whatever. Getting Dagon slows down that Hand of Midas by a long, long time. And, I mean, now he has it all together, but it's going to be, you know, a couple more minutes until the Midas, first of all, just pays for itself back. And, well, maybe he's going to keep himself relevant with this Dagon, but the odds of that happening are very low. So this item will only work out for this Puck if the game drags on for a very, very long time. And it does kind of seem like that is a possibility, but man, even with these Midases, this Morphling is leading the way in the farm. The Razor's not farming too terribly either, now going to go for a BKB. 2D, they have to just, you know, try to turtle up and maybe just stop losing all these towers because they're pretty far behind in the tower race. They're going to find Ned, and that's a nice little pickoff. But this Ogre Magi, holy crap, has an Aghanim Scepter. When did he get that? Seriously.
At least 5 minutes ago. He's had that for a while. They're going to get a stun. That's going to secure his TP. Oh my goodness. Ogre, he's made a lot of close skates with death. 6, 4, and 3. Yeah, he's had that X for a while. I saw Unrefined Fire Blast in that fight in mid.
Okay, well then maybe I just have to open my eyes and pay attention then. Either way, I mean, Jesus, Ogre Magi is tanky as hell. Like, killing off this guy is damn near impossible. That was, like, what, 3 heroes targeting him down and just wasn't enough. And, well, of course there was a fissure there, but you should be able to pick off supports 9 times out of 10 in those situations. And I guess this is just one of those times out of 10. TNZ is going to take to the skies and they'll look for a Puck towards mid, although I think the Batrider got a little bit too close to the creep wave first of all. Still, it's going to be Taku in a little danger. Laposa circling around. There is no blink available for this Puck. Is going to phase shift. Firefly on the floor now. Puck is going to get the blink out, but Fire Blast straight after. Blast out for good measure. Take no chances when you deal with Puck, and that's going to be a kill, and it's going to be a tower.
Yeah, not sure if they really had to commit to lasso. I think Ned could have just dropped an unrefined Fire Blast, but I suppose keeping mana up on your Ogre is definitely not a bad thing. It's going to be THD to go up high ground now, and I think they can with the Aghanim Scepter on the Razor. BKB is not available yet, but it is finished. He just needs to deliver that out to himself. THD can put a lot of damage up on this tower. They might back off once the Replicate wears away for Laposa, but for now, TWI, they're just not really in fighting potential, or fighting shape, I should say. Lina, Arcane Boots is pretty much all that she has, and the Laguna Blades this game, they've done a decent amount of damage, but not really super significant. Bleak forward from KGB, looking for a stun. Can't find it. It's a tier 3 tower for free in the favor of THD.
Man, that, and the Puck even has to buy out for that one. That's just like the nail in the coffin. And Hand of Midas, I suppose, is going to help him recover some of that gold, but they take the tier 3 tower. THD don't engage at all. And in another 15 seconds, Batrider will have another lasso. So if they get a kill onto anyone, then it'll be the exact same story all over again. This time it's going to be Yuka with the BKB up. And it's going to be Morphling with another item up after this Yasha, maybe even complete Manslaughter. He's going to teleport right into the mid lane. That's not where we want to be. However, his Lincoln Sphere will block a Viper Strike, so he'll be just fine to survive all that. Now here comes TNZ. No Blink Dagger available. He's going to try to force that for News for us. BKB does go up from this Lycan, but he's going to get dragged back regardless. Fissure is going to wall off this fight. He's going to blame on TNZ, and he will be blown up. Laposa also going to hit with the Dagon and the coil. He's going to drop. Now Noobs are us, looking for Ned, looking for Vestius. Both these support heroes awkwardly stuck in a bad position. Shaker going to drop, then Ned to follow. 2D to lose the tier 3 tower, but they strike back really hard, taking a 4 for 0. And now this tower is going to fall as well. I mean, a tier 1 for a tier 3, probably not the best, but man, that was a very clean team fight from 2D after a kind of awkward initiation from the bat.
Yeah, it really was an awkward initiation. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, forced to have lasso onto a BKB lycanthrope. You don't really have the follow-up damage to kill him off instantly. And then he just comes back in, turns on his armlet, and goes ham on your team. That Fissure from the Earthshaker looked like it might have been pretty good, but in the end just kind of caged them in with a wolf, which is not a great place to be.
So it's not only going to be 1 tower, it's going to be 2, and, well, the houses down don't really have any buybacks except for this Morphling. Razor's very powerful right now, but he is very far away on the top lane. They might even get this tier 3 tower. 2D, they're just blowing this mid lane wide open. Here comes 2 more heroes rather, from the houses down. TP in from the Razor. That goes off, and suddenly everyone's backing out from 2D. Lycan is already very far away, and they're going to catch Bartlett, who might be the only casualty right here. But even if they lose the Viper, it's not really a terribly huge deal. They get so much out of that series of events that losing a Viper is not really going to dent their progress.
Yeah, and now they're going to get a Roshan. Double damage rune on 2D means he can take this Roshan very easily. He'll probably have to ship that Midas on the courier, although he'd love to use it one more time beforehand. Ned's going to jump in the pit, multicast Noobs R Us. He doesn't get the second Fire Blast off, and now Noobs R Us, fighting for all he's worth, is going to lose his life, and now it's Roche towards THD.
And the seesaw game is real. First THD take a huge engagement, then it's 2D, and now it looks like it's THD's turn again. Now with a double life on the Morphling, even if you do decide to engage upon him with the Laguna Blade, with the Dagon, he's just going to shrug that one off. I don't think it's going to kill him, first of all, so he's going to still be alive. But if it does kill him for whatever reason, then, well, the Aegis is up, and he's going to be able to crack back real hard. Unfortunately, this time the house is down. They're not that healthy. Yuka is completely out of mana. Ned and Vestius are about half on both. Though Morphling's at full, he's the only one here at full. And house is down. They need a little bit more time. They need a little bit more gas in order to go for this push really safely. They're going to try to force a buyback out from the Lycan, and it might be successful. But if a fight does break out, then the house is down have to be really careful.
Yeah, they definitely do. Viper Strikes are going to be thrown into Yuka, but they're instead just going to go straight for the barracks. Range barracks fall very quickly to Yuka and his Aghanim. Step 3, jump forward. Wraithfire Blast going to be disjointed by a BKB coming out from Yuka, now turning for a Link. The Morphling is fighting for all he's worth and does a whole lot of damage into the pocket. It's going to kill him, but he is going to lose his Aegis at the same time. Lycanthrope in the shapeshift form, now going to eat the TMZ, decides to go for the Morphling instead. Waveform to the low ground is going to be successful as Leposa does make some distance between him and the enemy team. Viper Strike is going to be blocked by the Lincoln Sphere, and now Leposa, he does have the Mantis Style delivered to him, and he might be able to look for a turn. In the meantime, Wraithfire Blast into TMZ, but KGB is the one to fall, losing his ultimate for the second time in very short duration. Going to be Fire Blasted up. That's a double multicast coming out from this Ogre. He does have another one to throw out soon. Doesn't even need it. The Wraith King's going to lose his life. It's a 1-for-2 trade. Now THD, since they've already taken the range barracks, might as well look up for that melee as well.
And the Lycanthrope doesn't have any buyback. The Puck and Wraith King's buybacks are already out as well. And Leposa's still at full HP. There is still Laguna Blade, but Ogre's going to charge forward for Noobs R Us 3x multicast with the 4th Fire Blast as well. Noobs R Us is going to lose his life. No amount of life steal will save you there. Ned is going to be munched down, taking quite a bit of damage, with Bartlett's now being fist fought with Leposa. That's not a fight that you could take ever, really, as that hero. Now it's going to be Icon deep within the ancient area. It's going to be lassoed up, flame broken, will not die outright, but will die in the end. Vestius also going to get focused down by Bartlett. Had to buy back for this one, but by the time that actually happens, their 2 racks is down, soon to be 3, and 2D, well, Batrider shut down the stream. I have no idea what they're talking about, but 2D, they just lost 2 sets of Raxes, and they still have to deal with a Morphling that is getting a hell of a lot of farm, is nigh unkillable, and, well, is that game, because I don't really know if 2D can combat against 2 sets of Raxes with the amount of dominance that THD are showing right now.
Yeah, I really don't. Morphling, he's going to be getting something big very soon, and I think it's going to be a butterfly, but honestly, I don't think it matters. Leposa is absolutely stacked, and he's hitting like a truck. I wouldn't mind a Daedalus at all either.
Yeah, get a Radiance. Why not? I mean, get a Sacred Relic, and they're talking about something for sure, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter either. They just need this Morphling to get back up to full HP. Hell, maybe you even just get a Satanic just to sustain the rest of this game out. He's going to... We'll send his Replicate out, I think. No, he doesn't have a Replicate out. Never mind. So, yeah, he has a hell of a lot of gold, and they're pushing out top lane. 2D, they're going to put as much pressure as they can, or shove the mid and bottom lanes out, but that is not going to last very long, because THD, they just couldn't wait just right outside the enemy base for as long as it takes. And 2D, Blink Wraith King, Blink Puck, it's nice, but I mean, if you're going to catch a fight out here, you need a Blink Ravage. And if they had a Tidehunter, that would be very nice, but I think it's a little bit too late to repick, and now KGB is going to get jumped over towards mid. No Blink Tiger needed. Blade Mail is up. Yuka's going to steal a lot of damage from this Wraith King, who is going to lose his reincarnation. Here comes the Wolf, though. Yuka's going to take a Laguna Blade, and Vesti's going to get in with a huge Echo Slam onto Taku. There goes the puck. Noobs R Us going to try to munch down Yuka. Will be successful in doing so. Where is this Morphling? Needs to go for Noobs R Us, but in the meantime, TNZ is just dying to this Wolf. That's a 3-for-1 so far. Bartlett is going to get into a man fight with Leposa. This time, Leposa, without that much backup, will decide to retreat. But 2D take a fantastic fight right outside their base. That's pretty much the power of the Wraith King, although looks like he will go down in the end. That is probably the worst target that House is Down can initiate it on.
Yeah, I think that's fair. In that fight, Leposa really wasn't able to get his damage off, and that's probably the best that 2D could have hoped for, to be honest. Let's see. They are going to push up in the high ground, and the lanes are heavily in the favor of THD, so even after losing, at least in the numbers trade, they might be able to take some structures with it. This tier 3 tower is not long for this world to jump and get an L-Stand to Leposa, as well as a Dragon Slave, but they can't focus him down. They'll Fire Blast up Icon once, Fire Blast him twice. The Adaptive Strike Icon's almost down, will be mech'd up, and now Ned behind the tower is probably going to lose his life. Morphling Replicates out, but Ned is not so lucky. He's going to be munched down by the Wolf, and now Laguna Blade for good measure.
Yeah, it's an Ogre Magi for a tier 3 tower. That's fine for THD as long as they don't lose their Morphling. 2D, they're going to be happy with the fact that lots of the Houses Down heroes are dead, so they just don't have to deal with any pushing from heroes. But they still have to deal with these pushing creeps, and they have some okay clearing, and oh, Dire's Courier. That's 3,800, unless that is some creative counting. That looks like a relic, and it is. Yeah,
that was Lycan's Abyssal Blade, which is huge for them. That could have been pretty much a game changer. Just being able to lock down this Morphling, they'd have to pop the Lincoln Sphere was something. That's something might as well just be like the Yule Scepter on the Puck, or like the Dagon even. But either way, that's huge. Not having that for 2.5 minutes, this might just be time for THD to push, if they actually saw what was on that Courier.
Yeah, so that's going to be a pretty big gain for the Houses Down, although even with an Abyssal Blade, it will be very difficult for 2D to actually get anything done. It's going to be all heroes for the House Down, mobilizing up towards top. Ogre Magi is going to be lagging behind a little bit, though he does have Tranquils, so he will be able to rejoin this pretty quickly. Again, the House Down, they're in no rush whatsoever. They can just camp right outside the 2D base and just wait forever until they will actually want to go for it. The post is going to run to Noobs R Us, gets bashed. First of all, how useful would an Abyssal Blade be right there? The Morphling is going to make it out with Replicate, but he is going to spot the rest of 2D. And now the House Down are actually in a good position to fight.
Yeah, Morphling, when he's fully agility morphed, he has more than 2,000 HP, which is pretty crazy. They're going to open up on the Vesti's Brave Fire Blast. BKB on KGB. He's trying to fight, but can't fight against that Morphling. Ripped apart. Going to lose his ultimate. Start things off. The lasso up one. Icon being pulled back, but not focused. Now the Lycanthrope munching down Ned is going to get one bash. The Fire Blast on the Icon. Icon's still surviving throughout all of this, but not for much longer. It is going to be the Morphling to mop up that kill. Lycanthrope kills off the Bat Rider. Now the ultimate from the Viper is going to pop the Lincoln Sphere of Leposa. Waveform forward is going to go into this poor Viper. Slowed down. Can't go anywhere but down into the ground, and he's going to be 6 feet under inside the base. They've been able to mop up this kill, and everybody else from 2D is forced inside their base to deal with the creeps that are pushing into tier 4s, and my goodness, the Puck almost dies, forced to phase shift in the shadow of his Ancient.
Well, Puck is gonna have to recover his HP, so maybe it's time to chug a couple of salves, buy a bottle, because they have to fight like right now. They're gonna fortify to keep their range, their melee racks alive, but Noobs R Us getting perfectly chain stun. Yule Scepter will keep Noobs R Us alive for a little while, but not quite long enough. Let's see how good his armlet toggling is. Up against plus 196, I think it's impossible, and that will be GG. House is down, end the game in 42 minutes, and they crack 2D's base in quite devastating fashion. Hey, getting one for the road in the Puck as well. This is a best of 2 series, guys, so it's possible for 2D to strike back and even up the series, although House is down looking pretty darn good. It will all be determined in game number 2, which will be coming up very shortly, guys. Don't go anywhere. House is down versus Together We Did It are going to be right back very soon.